Hey friends, in the previous part we looked into some subtopics in matrices. In this video we will look into the transformation of coordinates via rotation, reflection and translation. So now let's consider x-axis, y-axis, okay it's not straight, y-axis and the z-axis coming out of the plane of the board, and consider a point P here with coordinates x, y. Now let's rotate this x, y axis, or let's say you can say rotate the xy plane or along the z axis in anti-clockwise direction by an angle theta. So this x will come here, we'll call this some x dash, it is rotated by an angle theta. This y will also be rotated to and go to axis y dash at some angle theta. Similarly, this point will also be rotated by an angle theta. So now this coordinate will become x dash, y dash. But the z axis and the z dash axis will obviously be coinciding. Now when you find the relation between x, y and x dash, y dash, we get x is equal to x dash cos theta plus y dash sin theta. And we get y is equal to, we get x dash is equal to x cos theta and y sin theta, and we get y dash is equal to y cos theta minus x sin theta. You can also write this as minus x sin theta plus y cos theta. So in matrix form we can write this as x dash y dash will be equal to cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta x y. This is the transformation of the coordinate xy to the new coordinates x dash y dash by the transformation matrix cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta. So this matrix, which is the transformation matrix, since we are causing rotation here, it can also be called as the rotation matrix. This rotation matrix is denoted by R with rotated along the angle theta. If here the rotation is in the anti-clockwise direction, therefore our angle theta will be positive. In the clockwise direction, if the rotation is along clockwise direction, then theta will be negative. Similarly, now if we consider the rotation in 3 dimensions, then what we'll get? For rotation in 3 dimensions, there are 3 cases. First case is you can rotate about the z axis, or you can rotate about the y axis, or you can rotate about the x axis. When you rotate about the z axis, then the x and y axis will rotate by that particular angle. When you rotate about the y axis, then the x and z axis will rotate about and when you rotate about the x axis, then the y and the x axis rotate. Thus, considering these 3 types of rotations, we will get 3 types of transformation, or we can say rotation matrix. So they are denoted by r theta rotation about the z axis, or r theta rotation about the y axis, or r theta rotation about the x axis. Theta is the angle of rotation, and here x, y and z denote the axis about which the rotation takes place. And this transformation matrix r theta is an orthogonal matrix with determinant of r theta is equal to +1. Thus the transformation matrix or rotation matrix Rx theta can be written as, since we are rotating about the x axis, the x coordinates will not rotate. So we'll have here 1, 0, 0 and 0, 0. Then we'll have here cos theta, sin theta, minus sin theta, cos theta. R rotation about the y axis with an angle theta, this will be equal to, since we are rotating about the y axis, the y coordinates will not change. That means y and y dash coordinates will remain the same. Thus we'll have here 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. We'll have here cos theta minus sin theta, cos theta. Rotation about the z axis will give us this transformation, which will be 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta. Just remember these formulas. You can just directly use the formulas in exams while solving the problems. So as I said before, these three transformation matrices, that means these three rotation matrices, are orthogonal in nature with determinant is equal to +1. And the angle of rotation theta is positive when rotation is in the anti-clockwise direction and negative when the rotation is in the clockwise direction. Now we will look into the transformation of coordinates via reflection. So let's say you have x-axis here and y-axis here. And we are having a point P here just like before with coordinates x, y. If we are going to do reflection with respect to the x-axis, then this point will come here with coordinate x and minus y. Okay. So from this we can write the transformation equations as x will be e. So here we can see that x is remaining as x, but y is changing to minus y. Thus the transformation of coordinates from P to P dash is by 1, 0, 0, minus 1. This type of matrix is called as the reflection matrix, okay, and they are denoted by MR, reflection matrix. Now these reflection matrices are also orthogonal in nature, and the determinant of these matrices is equal to -1, unlike the rotation matrices. Thus the reflection about x-axis will give us the reflection matrix 1, 0, 0, minus 1. The reflection about the y-axis will give us -1, 0, 0, 1. Both of these reflection matrices are orthogonal. Now we will look into the transformation of matrices via translation. So let's say again we'll consider the x and y axis with here the origin. Now if we take another, if now this translation has taken place along this x axis, that means we'll have x dash here same on as x axis, but this y dash has shifted from y, let's say by some factor m, or by some distance, this some distance m. So what we will say here is that y dash values will be equal to the y values, but the x dash values will be m times the x values. Now instead from x to y, instead if the translation has taken upwards means y dash has remained the same along the y axis, but x has shifted to x dash axis. We have moved this axis upwards, so by let's say distance n. So the coordinates of x and x dash will remain the same, but the coordinates of y dash will be equal to n times y. So friends, we have come to the end of this topic on matrices for mathematical physics. In the next part, we'll begin with complex analysis. So before that, I will give you two problems, and I'm also leaving you the solutions of those two problems right at the end of this video, because I want to start afresh with the topic on complex analysis in the next video. So the question is, which of the following cannot be the eigenvalues of a real 3 by 3 matrix? And we have been given the matrix equation, and we need to find the condition for the existence of non-trivial solution as well as the corresponding normalized solutions. In the first problem, we need to find the eigenvalues of the real 3 by 3 matrix. We know for a real n by n matrix, the eigenvalues are either real numbers or complex conjugates of each other. So in option A, we can see we are having 2i, 0, minus 2i. We are having a real number and we are having complex conjugates of each other. So this can be the eigenvalue. Option B has all three real numbers, which is also an eigenvalue of a real matrix. Option C again has complex conjugates and real number, so it is also an eigenvalue. But when we see option D, we are having I, 1, 0. So this cannot be the eigenvalue of our real n by n matrix. For the next problem, we are going to consider the equation as Ax equals to 0. And we know for non-trivial solution, we use determinant of A equals to 0. Doing that, we get B equals to C plus 1. Thus, our answer is option D. So, there is no need to solve the corresponding normalized solutions because we already know there is only one option with answer B equals to C plus 1. But in case you do want to find the values of x, y and z, we'll use the equation Ax equals to 0, multiply the matrix A with matrix X, you'll get two equations, x plus y plus z equals to 0 and x plus 2y plus 3z equals to 0. Solving those two equations, we get x equals to z and y equals to minus 2z. This combination is only possible for option D and option A. Thus, our answer is option D. So in the next part, we'll begin with complex analysis. Till then, take care. Peace be upon you.